Tiffany Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured, where we hope to inspire or simply make you smile with some uplifting stories across the country. We are now into the warmer months, but hey, look at this. It is looking a lot like Christmas over in Tennessee. The Holly Jolly crew came together for a Santa family reunion. David Rayborn takes us to the festival that aims to keep the holiday spirit alive no matter the season.
And welcome everybody to our wonderful 2025.
The Santa Family Reunion gets together every 2 years, and really it's about two things. One is camaraderie, but the other one is about learning and growing as a Santa Claus entertainer.
More than 650 Christmas performers from all over the country gathered to visit with old friends and swap stories with the goal of becoming better performers.
I think it's important to hone your craft, to always be learning, to always be interacting with Santas, and that's really the magic of these things. It's not just the classes, it's sitting next to a table of other Santas and Mrs. Clauses who had those same experiences.
The people here have so much wisdom, it can cut years off of training by attending some of these classes. The most important thing to me is I want to help this family have memories for a lifetime.
For these performers, the magic of Christmas is not limited to the 25th day of December.
Always keep the spirit of Christmas in your heart year-round. It doesn't matter what day it is.
Hey, it just goes to show that Santa's job is never really done. That was David Rayborn reporting. And while some people are born with natural talent, others have to develop their skills over time. Sean Giggy introduces us to a self-taught artist who is transforming stained glass into a masterpiece.
Show me. Talk to me.
20 years ago, Nancy Downey was sitting there watching one of those do-it-yourself shows when she got the sudden urge to do it herself.
I watched them make wind chime out of glass, and I thought, I want to try that.
And so began Nancy's obsession with stained glass.
It's a challenge.
Today, her backyard, a stained glass gallery. Eventually, her husband John started doing it too.
But Nancy's development of this now has gone to another level.
From DIY to me, oh my. Nancy is now arguably one of the most talented stained glass artists anywhere, creating realistic mosaics. All of these were made with glass. Not surprisingly, Nancy gets a lot of requests from galleries that want to display her art and people who want to buy it.
I know.
But their favorite kind of art is personal.
It's kind of fun to see.
Like the stained glass.
What we've done.
One woman brought them a couple years back.
She came in, and I remember her coming in crying. And we said, tell us how we can help you.
There were a lot of tears shed that day.
After her grandma's death, Samantha King inherited a piece of stained glass.
That was a piece of her.
But the drive home wasn't smooth.
And I just saw glass broken everywhere. So.
Her heart shattered. She found John and Nancy, who put the pieces back together.
Just how my grandma had it, to where it felt like they cared. They're miracle workers, and I'll always be thankful for them.
It reinforced for us why we do it. If it brings joy to somebody else, then why not do it?
As John and Nancy have discovered, given the chance to do something kind, it's always rewarding to do it yourself.
I've really enjoyed it.
In Grapevine, I'm Sean Giggy.
Right now, we thought Nancy's work was just so incredible, we wanted to give you a closer look. Check this out. You might notice a familiar face among her creations. Look at that. It is none other than the multi-talented icon, Miss Barbra Streisand. I gotta say, looks like it could also be Beyonce. Just like at a quick glance. Don't come for me if you don't see it. But it's just so good. You know, it's hard to believe that it's made out of glass when it looks just like a painted portrait. Great work. Love that one. All right, let's head on over to Texas now, where a nonprofit is creating a safe space for people to let their talents shine. Brandon Schaff explains how they're overcoming obstacles to pursue their artistic passions.
The special needs community gathers in person at least once a week here at the Special Hearts in the Arts. The leadership team said that there are about 50 students coming there from across the Coastal Bend. That includes Crystal Salinas, who is partially blind but always encouraged by her friends to pursue her artistic talents.
Once we're together, it's just like our home. We're a big family. We like to help each other. There are several people that I learned that my disability ain't gonna affect me.
The 40-year-old Salinas grew up painting and then started taking photos a couple of years ago. She joined Special Hearts in the Arts about 7 years ago. While she was hesitant to join at first, she explained how it became a comfortable place for her to express herself. Ida Lee Duarte Montez, the nonprofit COO, said that it's also an environment where women empower each other.
All our Special Hearts are extremely supportive of one another, whatever they're doing, however they're expressing themselves, they're all cheering each other on. But our girls have special bonds with each other.
Special Hearts in the Arts students range in age from 12 to 81. Dance director Francine Del Bosque said that everyone is encouraged to join because they want the special needs community to take advantage of this opportunity.
After a certain age, individuals with disability in our community run out of resources to participate in programs.
She added that while Special Hearts in the Arts gives students the tools, the students are the artists, expressing themselves on a canvas, the dance floor, or behind the lens.
They're the ones that make the program. They're the ones that run the school. They're the ones that give us the motivation to be there to help them.
Brandon Sheff.
Hope after the storm. We are not strangers to severe weather. Record-breaking heat waves, widespread flooding, and extreme wildfires are becoming more frequent and more intense. 2025 has already seen a historic number of tornadoes, with approximately 300 reported just since January. Now, Arkansas is one of many states that's feeling the impact of those twisters. Let's check in with Maya Ellison as she shows us how a 10-year-old is helping a family pick up the pieces after a storm.
It does take your time away, but after you're done, you have something that you can wear and keep.
That's 10-year-old Sophia Hutchinson. Her and her family live about 10 minutes away from Campbell Station.
Where the shelter was, we were, within a mile, 3/4, half a mile from it.
A few days passed and Sophia's mother Morgan says she started to see the damage of those impacted. Sophia did as well.
I prayed that night and it really came to my mind that God is truly here in this world.
She was like, do you think if I made bracelets, people would buy them to help the victims?
Morgan took her daughter's idea to social media. What began as friends and family who purchased bracelets blossomed into much more.
We probably had already 30 or 40 bracelets to make. More and more people started ordering, and like I said, I'm pretty sure she made close to 75 bracelets.
Sophia spent all spring break making them.
It probably took about 30 minutes per bracelet. She got to be a little quicker with some of them, but she made a few personalized ones too.
When I think of most of the people that order one and they want me to pick it, most of the time they're like one of these.
Okay.
Like their personality fits one of these colors.
Each bracelet was made with love and held special meaning, but one stood out. AR Strong, which symbolized community.
The AR means Arkansas, and then we did a heart, and then strong, and then this stands for
Natural Disaster Awareness colors.
In 10 days, Sophia was able to surpass her goal.
I felt happy that I got over 500.
And with a little help, Sophia learned about a family that was impacted by the storms. Without hesitation, she knew she wanted to give back and support them.
It made me feel good to make the bracelets and then give them and then give the money to the family.
And through her good deed, it sets an example for all to follow.
You should try to at least help, and anything you set your mind to, you can achieve it.
In Newport, Maya Ellison.
That is right. Put your mind to it and you can achieve it. Now, another pair of hands are making something special over in Ohio rather. Dominique O'Neill introduces us to a man who is crafting a connection to home for military members and their families during their deployment.
That's Bobby Woodart from Bryan. He's crafting an ornament from scratch. He says his father was in the military and is one of the reasons he was inspired to make ornaments to veterans and their families.
We're put on the earth to serve others, and who better to serve than those who serve? Because what people don't understand is just because a soldier wears a uniform, the family members also wear the uniform.
In the last year and a half, Bobby says they've been able to send out 3,500 wooden ornaments to 45 different locations in 5 different countries, all at no cost to the military members.
I never thought it would be this big. I just started making little toys and going to craft shows, and then one day my mother-in-law said, well, why don't you just do patriotic stuff, and then it just went from there.
Woodart says his ornaments show military families and members that they are still connected to home.
One of my ornaments comes, and it just brightens their day. It just makes them feel like, you know what, someone's out there thinking about me. It's a great feeling.
Woodart says it brings joy to his heart to be able to make an impact on the lives of so many military families.
It's amazing. It's like there's no words that can describe how it makes me feel.
Reporting in Bryan, Dominique O'Neill.
I love that story so much. My dad is a veteran, and growing up, he was on deployment a lot. We lived in some really cool places like California, Japan, Hawaii, Florida, you name it. We kind of just went everywhere. But one thing I can say is my mom, she held down the fort and did her best to make wherever we were feel like home, even though we were thousands of miles away from home. Alrighty, we have much more for you ahead on Featured. Here's a quick look at what's coming up. Feast your eyes on this. We show you how a young woman is whipping up some culinary creations with her imagination. Plus, a goalie connection, how a hockey tradition led to an incredible photo where 2 generations collide. Now, these are some pretty difficult days for local journalism, especially when it comes to print. Now, newspapers across the country are closing, but one community in Washington is fighting to keep its local paper alive. The small town had a local weekly paper for nearly 150 years, which recently disbanded. But as Eric Wilkinson shows us, a small community there refused to stop the presses.
I used to know everybody who lived on all these streets, but not anymore.
Bill Reynolds grew up in LaConner. Now, at 67 years old, it's his first day on the job as a paper boy.
So darn nearsighted.
Today is the first day of delivery for the LaConner Community News, keeping a journalistic tradition that's always connected the people here.
Wow, it's kind of the heartbeat of a community.
Bill's old employer was the LaConner Weekly News, whose owner recently retired, leaving the town without an independent paper for the first time in 146 years.
You'd lose that connection if you don't have a community publication.
But townspeople wouldn't let it go. They raised money and worked to find someone to save the paper.
Thank you. We're really excited.
That person is Carrie Marr of Lake Forest Park. Carrie has a journalism background herself and saw an opportunity to make a difference at a time when facts and accuracy are critically important.
I think it's true that this couldn't be done in a lot of other communities, but there are very few communities like LaConner.
Over the past 20 years, more than 3,200 newspapers have vanished nationwide. And as the headlines hit the doorsteps of LaConner, there is hope for success. The publication already has more than 900 subscribers in a community of less than 1,000.
Hopefully I don't miss any doorsteps.
By the way, this volunteer delivery boy is also a reporter for the paper. Bill Reynolds proud his hometown paper is home once again.
It's pretty remarkable, the spirit of the people of this community.
That was Eric Wilkinson reporting. A hockey standout is carrying on a family tradition on ice over in Minnesota. Boyd Hubert shows us how a high school goalie is now using a unique play to honor the memory of his grandfather.
Hockey in Hallett is hallowed history.
It's deep. It goes back through many generations and many families.
A tradition that Jamison Turner embraced early.
Like he was skating before he was walking.
I would say, yeah.
Justin and Jamie.
Yeah, holding Dad's fingers.
Introduced their son
in this building
to his home when he wasn't at home in his hometown, 20 miles from the Canada border.
Once I could figure out how to skate a little bit, he gave me a stick and a puck.
His first steps in the footsteps of his grandpa.
He was a goalie, yep.
This is the sweatshirt he wore.
The same shirt Kim Turner was wearing in this picture, holding Jameson. Less than a year before Grandpa Kim was gone.
He was killed in a car accident, yeah. And 51 years old is what he was. He was the mayor of Hallock, and it was a dang tragedy. The whole city felt, I think, the same.
Which meant Kim Turner missed his grandson also becoming a goalie.
Lubinski centers one, it's saved by Turner.
And not just any goalie.
Save, popped up, and it just goes over the net off the pad of Turner, who has now made 37 saves in this game.
That was the 2,000 mark, yep. That was when he broke 2,000.
2,000 saves, plus 199 more after. Still waiting to be verified as a state high school record.
He's here when that stuff's happening.
Which helped.
For sure.
Give Justin an idea.
I took the picture sitting right here.
Jameson at his locker with a visitor.
They're having this conversation, grandpa and grandson. It turned out exactly the way I had hoped it would, I guess.
Lauren Youngren was the right photographer for the job.
I was a goalie too, Hallock High School here.
Goalie, goalie, goalie.
I've always seen the picture of him. He's in an old locker room.
The post-high school town league photo of Kim Turner.
Just sitting there in the locker room.
Justin sent to Lauren.
Yep.
Not even knowing who took it.
My dad actually took that photograph of Kim. So there's another generation involved in this story too.
Lauren's dad shot Kim holding a cold Pabst.
But I am holding a Diet Coke. I'm not holding a beer.
It is, after all, a senior photo.
That would get me in trouble.
That's the conversation you hope they could have had.
Tradition.
These pads right here are Kim Turner's.
Passed from grandpa to grandson.
Pretty neat.
Passed on.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And living on.
He's here.
Hallock.
That was Boyd Hubert reporting. We are taking a brief break. Make sure you come back to join us. We have a really cute story. This story here, an angel flight. We're going to tell you all about it. We hear from pilots who are easing the burden for patients in the sky. And a little bit later, we'll tell you how a DoorDash delivery reversed the roles of a former teacher and a student. Welcome back. Let's check out what's trending on social media. First up, actor Tom Hanks, one of my favorites. He revisits the world of Forrest Gump, but it's not for a sequel to the 1994 award-winning movie. Take a look at this.
You better run like the devil's on your tail, like you broke out of jail, like a big storm's coming.
They could never make me hate you. Tom, I love that guy. Now, here's a little snippet of the music video for You Better Run by the country music duo Something Out West. All right, now here's where it gets a little interesting. The cameo makes a little more sense after you learn that Hanks' son, Chet Hanks, is a member of that band. Now in the music video, Chet pays tribute to his dad by recreating scenes from the iconic Forrest Gump. I love that movie. Ready, a simple food delivery turned into an unforgettable reunion. Love this story. Loreni Pinallo posted this picture of her former teacher, Wilmer Melendez, on TikTok. Now, the two hadn't seen each other in about 15 years, but that all changed when Pinallo went to get her DoorDash order, and to her surprise, Melendez was standing there. The former teacher shared he retired from the classroom, but later picked up a job to pay for his son's school. Well, after hearing this, Loreni was compelled to do more than just leave a tip. She paid for part of Melendez's son's tuition. Oh my goodness. And After receiving an outpouring of support on social media, she set up a GoFundMe page. It raised more than $40,000 in just 1 week. What a happy ending to that story. Now, Pinalo personally went to deliver the good news to Melendez and his family. Check out this clip. She said he was so shocked, he couldn't even let go of the balloons. Look at him. He's got a death grip on that thing. This is just a reminder of the profound impact that educators have on their students. I love that story so much. Here's another great one. An artist on TikTok is taking food content to a whole new level.
In the skillet on the stove, I added in some butter.
Okay, I see the vision. 21-year-old Kiana Phillips, better known as Paper Eats, illustrates and sculpts fake food, recreating everything from sushi to candy and even seafood boils. Well, now, of course, she doesn't actually eat the paper, she just pretends to. And Phillips' creativity is getting noticed. She recently partnered with Rihanna's company, Fenty Hair. Hey, how cool is that? And she returns to her old high school to teach her craft with nothing but paper, crayons, and glue. Phillips is proving that imagination can turn anything into success. You just gotta find your lane, carve out that niche, and go for it. Alrighty, that is it for trending. We have more for you coming up on Featured. Now, instead of throwing away food, why not wear it? Yeah, you heard me correctly. We'll show you how just a bit later. Plus, a simple letter, it can build some unexpected friendships. We are taking you to a high school in Oregon to find out how. Around with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you some uplifting stories from across the country. Pacemakers can save a person's life, but plenty of folks just don't have access to them. Through a new program, the cardiac devices are being recycled to keep hearts beating around the world. And Jenny Runovich introduces us to a coroner in Indiana who is helping with global efforts.
In a place known for loss, a new chance for renewal. The Hamilton County Coroner just joined a nationwide project sharing life-saving gifts.
When most people think of coroners, they think of death. And this is an opportunity to kind of change that, because now we have coroners that, are saving lives.
A doctor told Jellison about the My Heart, Your Heart project based at the University of Michigan. Its mission, recycle pacemakers from people who've passed away and with FDA approval, donate them to people in need.
This might be the first coroner from Indiana, which is great. We now get donations from all 50 states.
60,000 pacemakers donated to the project since 2018. Hundreds with heart issues helped in low-income countries.
So they do not have access to just this little device that we take for granted here in the U.S. that is simple yet can elongate and save the lives of these patients.
Just like with organ donation, it's a way to give back.
When someone has a pacemaker and passes away, the device has to be removed before cremation. It's highly flammable, and normally it's either discarded as medical waste or sits in the evidence room.
So now, we can repurpose these. We can keep people a little healthier. We can save a few lives.
Jellison's already heard from a local funeral home that wants to help too. 30 local pacemakers now set to be shipped off to U of M researchers. Once there, the team cleans, sterilizes, and tests the devices. Then they're sent overseas. Jellison plans to encourage coroners statewide to participate.
It's an opportunity really for Indiana to step up and say, we want to, as coroners, we want to save some lives.
Hoosier Hearts reaching new people in need.
That was Jenny Runovich reporting. Well, the sky's the limit over in Tennessee. Some pilots are offering their services for free in Knoxville. Jillian Taylor shows us how Angel Flight Soars connects patients with critical care they normally wouldn't be able to afford.
Jimmy Stone loves to fly. He started flying toward the end of a lifetime career at Oak Ridge Laboratories. But he doesn't just fly for himself.
We've got a helicopter. We might as well use it for something to help other people.
Stone volunteers for Angel Flight Soars, an organization transporting people in crisis to critical medical care.
When I retired out of Oak Ridge in December 23, I told Laurie I'm going to sign up for Angel Flights, and we signed up in January, and we flew our first flight, I think, in March.
Stone has flown 31 flights in his first year of volunteering, flying patients undergoing liver transplants, cancer trials, brain surgeries, and more.
I've had 30 surgeries total. And I think I flew with Angel Flight over 25 times.
In 2023, a house fire severely burned Michael White.
See 47% burns from the top of my back to the heels of my feet, pretty much. I lost literally half the man I used to be.
With his burns, long car rides were excruciating, and commercial flights are prohibitively expensive. Angel Flight Soars changed everything for him.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. It's easy.
Here's how it works. The organization gathers requests from patients. Anybody with need can submit one.
Here they are. Now, these are all apps.
Then volunteer pilots use an app to sign up to help.
Transplant small intestines, and other cancer patients.
It's completely free to the patient.
There's families that I'm connected to, that I'll be connected to forever.
Dean Weingartner is also a volunteer pilot based out of Knoxville. He's been flying for 25 years and done nearly 300 missions.
We say, you can't have a bad day at work when you do an Angel Flight. It changes your life for the better.
We get more out of it than we give, I can tell you that. You know, they always say they get a lot out of it. Of course, it's saving them a lot of time and a lot of effort to be able to fly, but really it's a blessing to us to be able to do it.
In Knoxville, I'm Jillian Taylor.
Thank you, Jillian. Now, do you remember how exciting it was to walk to the mailbox and open up a handwritten letter from a friend or a loved one? Maybe it's just me. I love getting snail mail. Well, these students you see behind me, they are putting pen to paper, but not for a school assignment. Tim Gordon shows us how the letters are sparking a meaningful exchange.
I'm writing a follow-up to Debbie.
Inside this classroom at Lincoln High School.
Are you done with that pencil? I'm just wondering how she's doing.
Kids are spending their lunch break.
I'll get you a paper and a pencil.
Doing some writing.
My pen pal, her name is Joe.
Writing letters to local seniors.
Yeah.
The pen pal idea was like, I didn't ever expect it to be this big, but by the first meeting we had 8 people show up and I was super excited, and then by meeting 2 or 3 there was like 30 or 40 people showing up, so I don't know, it's a little bit like I stumbled upon this idea that works.
Henry Carpenter's idea caught on.
Yeah.
We have paper and pencils up here too. Yeah, question?
First with friend and co-leader Adrian Schulman.
I think you're in Prestige.
Then with other friends and classmates.
The part that surprised me the most was how many students wanted to like help out and wanted to sort of be involved.
So I asked her how she's feeling and hope that she's well. Her name's Yeiko, and her story is super cool. She actually met Hillary Clinton when she was in Japan.
You want a cookie?
This is the Memory Care Connections Pen Pal Club.
It's nice for them to like share their story.
Students connect with elders, most with memory loss and other aspects of aging.
I haven't met my pen pal yet, but she's asked to meet me, and I'm hoping I can meet her one day and play some card games with her. We started out just, playing games with them like we'd play.
We sat down with Henry and Adrian outside the classroom to hear more about the club and what it means to them.
It's just like a really eye-opening experience. It's really rewarding for me to like sit down and write each letter with this resident who, comes from a completely different background, completely different experience than me, but we can have this connection.
I never thought it would get this big, but also on like a individual level. Like, I don't think I realized sort of the impact it had quite at first.
Thank you.
The club works with a few senior living facilities, but the main connection is with a place where Henry started volunteering 2 years ago.
It's a nice thing, I feel like, for both the students and the residents.
Emerson House is a memory care residential facility in Southeast Portland. Henry liked volunteering here so much.
Hey, Michelle.
He wanted to get other teens involved.
How are you?
He is one special kid.
Okay.
From club time in the classroom.
Hey, guys.
To delivery day.
How is everybody?
A core group of students go on Sunday afternoons.
Oh, they're here again. Oh, goody.
Yeah, great.
Bringing the pen pal letters.
Okay.
Thank you.
These young people and what they bring are a welcome sight. 40 to 50 letters.
Hey, Dolores, how are you?
Including one for Dolores.
I have mail from your friend. From Arwen, the high schooler. Okay.
Henry reads a letter from a pen pal.
Thank you for the letter. I have one orange cat.
Making connections is a two-way street.
Have you ever had any cats in your life?
Students often help residents right back.
Yeah?
More cats than dogs. Yeah.
Yeah?
Dolores has memories of her brother.
Yes.
When he joined the Air Force?
Yes.
Yeah?
Henry checks with Dolores when they're done.
Okay, can I read you the letter back to make sure it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Arwen, I was very proud of Don when he joined the Air Force, like I said in my last letter.
And she approves.
Does that sound good?
Of all
and thank
of
you
it.
for letting me use your book.
I think it's fun. And I think, the kids like it a lot,
I wanted to ask you for advice because I know you've hunted in the past.
Yeah.
The connecting happens across the room with Thomas and Richard.
A lot of elk, yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
With McClay and Laura.
Did you play any instruments?
I played drums in high school, which was a lot of drums, and timpani, things like that in my younger years.
I'm so happy when you guys come. I just, yeah.
And Kathy and a whole group of teens. Kathy loves to write.
Apparently you write more letters than anyone else around here.
Well, I've been a prolific writer all my life. There we go. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's great.
Another person who loves it is Emerson House's Michelle Grossberg.
Oh my goodness, their faces light up, just kind of like what you guys saw. Their faces just light up. You don't see this a lot in the world today.
Memory Care Connections is catching on at other local high schools and even at a high school in Northern California where Henry has a friend.
Bye, Richard.
When you see the connections made,
See you guys.
you see why.
Thank you guys.
That is so awesome, and I bet those folks at the Senior Care Center really look forward to the kids coming because they're like their new buddies. All right, that was Tim Gordon reporting. Now, according to Memory Care Connections website, the program includes 8 high schools across 4 different states, and they send out more than 700 pen pal letters each month. I love that one. All right, now it's pretty easy, as we all know, to get into a heated debate when pointing out things that cause division in our country. So Sean Martinelli conducted a bit of a social experiment to see if strangers could find similarities in just 5 minutes. Let's check out how they did.
Here in our nation's capital, we didn't need to go far to go through Pennsylvania.
We sat on a bench and you pulled us over.
Through North Carolina.
We just met on this bench.
Through Wisconsin.
Strangers on the street.
Indeed. We sat down 2 strangers on 3 streets.
Yeah.
To see what they share in common.
Yeah, I don't really agree with anybody on anything.
That's what's called a rough start.
Given my demographic, 40-year-old black gay male, you think that you're like just this guy, this person on an island, alone with all the things that you're dealing with, money, politics, jobs.
But give them each 5 minutes.
I recently became a master naturalist.
Oh.
So I'm trying to connect kids with the natural world.
That's our connection. I'm a fly angler, and so I'm in nature all the time.
From one bench to the next, we discovered connections that cross gender, occupations, and generations.
I guess I feel increasing losses as you get older. Opportunities and friends and family and that sort of thing.
Love is my big thing. I mean, I'm not a big lover, but I experienced a lot of loss in that department. Just kind of like, maybe the one that got away in a sense.
On Pennsylvania, these 2 found they were fellow football-loving lawyers whose differences are more a matter of inches than yards.
What the last few years have showed me is it's really easy to critique and judge others when you dehumanize them. And so I think when you're really able to make connections with people and find even a small connection between 2 individuals, it helps you have more empathy and understanding.
If we did this on streets across our country, through states red, blue, and purple, these 2 say we'd start seeing another color.
There's gold in just looking at something else in another perspective.
People may be packaged differently, but I think there's a lot of sameness there.
And that's a small victory for humanity here on America's swing state streets.
That was Sean Martinelli reporting. Coming up next, what is the Keith Lee effect? We have a look at how restaurants are benefiting with just one visit from this popular food critic. All right, welcome back. Now, you've heard the term, you are what you eat, right? Well, there is a chef in Washington, D.C. that is not only cooking food for folks to eat, but as Matthew Torres reports, they can also wear it.
At Oyster Oyster in Shaw, plant-based ingredients may be in the forefront, but seeped into everything they do is this big appetite to help the environment.
Sustainability to me as a chef is huge. I think it's one of the most important aspects of a chef.
From how food is sourced to a zero single-use plastics policy, Chef Rob Ruba says it's vital to him in an industry that tends to rack up waste.
Food waste isn't just how can I make something delicious and put it on a plate. It really needs to be about like what else can we do with these materials? How can we go beyond just what happens in the kitchen?
And one example includes how you wear it.
It's incredibly soft and really nice, and it breaks in.
The restaurant has recently partnered with Taratella to sell new shirts with a twist. It's a relatively new New York-based company that uses different kinds of food waste, such as soured milk and naturally fermented corn sugar to make t-shirts. With the slogan, wear what you don't eat, Taratella is working with chefs all over the world. Oyster Oyster is the first in the DMV.
We're trying to give those kind of restaurants like an opportunity to do a merch that's also sustainable. So instead of your typical cotton t-shirt, we're kind of providing this like next gen material for the restaurants to kind of work with.
The company specifically designed the shirt showcasing the restaurant's key ingredient. This shirt is primarily made up of soybean hulls.
So we're kind of focusing on a lot of post-industrial waste and how we can reuse that because there's just so much of it at this point.
Taratella says it's the cherry on top of the chef's sustainability journey, transforming how we all look at food.
We can do amazing things with waste and use it more as a product rather than something to discard.
It's just so beautiful.
And that was Matthew Torres reporting. Now let's take it down to Texas now. Folks on social media eat up Keith Lee's food review videos. They often lead to long lines of new visitors at struggling restaurants. Well, magic struck twice for the owner of a Houston dessert shop. Lee returned for a second visit, and as Katira Winfrey explains, this time he wasn't there to eat.
Just a year ago, the homegrown business faced uncertainty, but one visit from internet foodie critic sensation Keith Lee stirred up an immeasurable response.
This place, in my opinion, the best dessert I've ever had in my life.
And now he's come back.
And Denisha, my customer service / cashier, she was like, oh my God, Keith Lee is walking in. And I thought she was joking.
She's cooking something big, a vision years in the making. And once again, Keith Lee's surprise contribution.
We want to give you $50,000.
Will help whip it all into shape.
But I had the dream, I had the vision, and I had the faith that it was going to happen.
A few doors down from this modest location, Prater is opening a larger puttery. It'll offer more than banana pudding. She's also adding a food truck to the mix.
The vision is to have a place where people can come and sit down, they can open their laptops. I want to make it a place where people want to come and sit and stay.
A year ago, the tears flowed filled with concern. They now flow with gratitude.
I just didn't know what the response was going to be when Keith came again.
A major cup of love is the key ingredient. That's been running over.
That was Katira Winfrey reporting. Love that story, and I love Keith Lee's videos. All right, don't go too far. We have more for you coming up next. Grannies still prove, hey, they got game. They can still do what it needs to be done on the hardwood out there. We will show you how granny basketball is defying expectations about aging and sports. Welcome back. Sports and age don't always go hand in hand, but across the country, older women are taking over basketball courts, and they are playing on their own terms. Zach Tawatari hit the hardwood to see how these mothers and grandmothers are proving that the love for the game has no age limit.
For over a century, these sounds
back out,
have been a reminder of youth, playgrounds, high school gyms, and moments of glory. But here in Katy and throughout the country, this sport that's often considered a young person's game is being played by teams of women.
In the Houston area, we have the Texas Two Steps, that's the Conroe team. The Bayou Ballers is the Houston team, and the Katy team is South Texas Sass.
They call it granny basketball.
Based on women's basketball from the 1920s.
It is, by definition, a gentler game for women
of a certain age.
But as I found out, honorary pink for me. Even though it's 6-on-6 and has a rule book, which encourages safety.
Now, if I actually fall, what's going to happen, ladies?
Granny down! That doesn't necessarily make it easier or less competitive.
It is hard.
The motivation for women like Jacqueline Scanlon isn't necessarily a trophy.
There's a lot of sports to pick from. Why basketball?
It was just something I needed a hobby because I didn't have any hobbies other than drinking wine. So I needed to find something to do.
Peju Bakrin.
They're crazy. Yeah. But fun. I love them all.
Had never even played basketball.
I was becoming an empty nester. I'm competitive. I like to play. I like to be physical. I like to play sports. And I thought, why not give it a try?
The league started in Iowa.
Granny basketball has been existing more than 20 years now.
With over 50 teams in 10 states, Granny basketball, in so many ways, is honoring the past in the present.
I think we're kind of reversing roles, if you will, where the young folks are in the stands and the senior ladies are out on the court.
And for the Sass, what makes playing on their team so special seemingly has little to do with fast breaks or buzzer beaters.
To celebrate all our small victories, which are very important, especially at our age. Our bodies are failing us every day because we're getting older and we're playing and giving it our all. So all the little accomplishments we make on the court are so important to us.
And if these teams and the game are proof of anything, it might be that you're never too old to take your best shot.
Stopped.
That was Zach Taratari reporting, and I bet those ladies are loving that, they found something to keep them active, keep their bodies moving. Great work, ladies. All right, now before we go, let's check out this cute story. Ending things on a cute note here. Operation Kindness is celebrating a big milestone at their kitten nursery in Texas. Look at all those cute little babies. This one is baby Y2K. If you're wondering how it got its name, it is the 2000th little one to receive care at the rescue shelter. At just 14 days old, little Y2K came to their neonatal kitten nursery to receive round-the-clock care and to grow into a strong, healthy cat. And some good news here, Y2K is now in a foster home where he's being bottle-fed, kept warm, and loved on. Congratulations to the folks over at Operation Kindness on a huge accomplishment. We hope you have many more. Alrighty, that'll do it for today's episode of Featured. I hope you found something that inspired you or simply made you smile. Until next time, make it a great one.